Good evening. Our September 12, 2019 Longview City Council meeting is now called to order. Tonight, our invocation and pledge will be led by Noah and Micah Collins. Noah Collins, age 10, is a fifth grader at University Academy and is a Cub Scout in Pack 262 at Trinity Episcopal Church. Micah Collins, age 9, is a third grader and also a Cub Scout. If they look familiar, it's because Noah and Michael have helped lead the prayer and pledge at the City Council meeting before and wanted to come back and do it again. So welcome, gentlemen. Please rise.
Please pray with me. Dear God, thank you for our city and everyone in it. Thank you for our mayor and city council. Thank you for the police, firefighters, and all the people who help others in Longview. Be with the leaders of this meeting and help them inspire justice, unity, and peace. Bless our city and teach us how to love our neighbors. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen. Amen.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen, for coming and doing this for us again. If they get any cuter than that, I want to see them. That's incredible. Thank you so much. Tonight, in our employee recognition, we're recognizing the City of Longview United Way Kickoff Committee and campaign key workers. Each year, the City of Longview participates in the Greater Longview United Way Pacesetters campaign. The United Way Committee organizes the Employee Health and Benefits Fair and campaign kickoff events. This year, the kickoff raised over $4,000 through the silent auctions and raffles. The key workers help with this event and are responsible for providing each division with information such as workplace presentations and agency tours, as well as coordinating the donation forms. Through their hard work and dedication, the City of Longview employees pledged over $37,000 to the 2019-2020 United Way campaign, bringing the total contributions to over $41,000 donated and pledged. Tonight, I would like to acknowledge this year's City of Longview's campaign chairs, Michael Shirley, and committee members and key workers present tonight include Gail Cockrell, Dwayne Archer, Laura Starling, Maria Tidwell, Michael Wiley, Virgil Bolter, Natasha Jamie, Beverly Black, and Connie Goodman Kiesler. Please come forward. Good-looking group of people this is, and more importantly, what a great heart you all have. You know, this United Way is one of those things that it goes every year, and every year it gets better and better and bigger and bigger. And you know, the things that we're doing with these funds that are raised are monumental life changers for people that need this the most. And so, thank you for the dedication, the hard work, you don't realize how many hours and hours and hours are put into this event every single year. And the planning for next year is probably already in progress because this is an ongoing cycle that never stops. And I appreciate the dedication, all the hard work. You all are awesome. You all rock. Thanks so much for what you do. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you all. Come on, let's get pictures. Come on. Come on. Thank you all again. That's an awesome amount of money that y'all are pledging to raise for this United Way. Keep up the good work, gang. Appreciate y'all. Tonight in my community recognition, before I start community recognition, I want to take just a minute to clarify and apologize for my last community recognition a few weeks ago. Probably due to my inability to portray as needed, some things were said that have offended some people, and I apologize for that because I want y'all to know this community recognition is all about positivity and happiness and joy and service and love and kindness to people that are doing things for other people. And if I misspoke or portrayed something in a way that was not appropriate with some of these children, my apologies. It was never intended that way. It's intended to bring and lift people up and be thankful for those volunteers in our community that do things that make a difference in the lives of other people. And I want to thank Ms. Elsa Nobles for bringing this to my attention and realizing that, and she understands that this was nothing intentional, but it happened in a way that I wished it wouldn't have been portrayed or perceived, but know that it was done with the purest of intention, the purest of heart, and I want to move forward with that, knowing that everything that we do in this community recognition is a positive thing. It's never meant to be negative or degrading or demeaning or anything of those nature. It's all positive, never negative. So I apologize. I want that to be on public record because it was never the intent. I want you to know that. And I think even Ms. Nobles, all the people that go on those trips to help other kids, every one of them are community leaders. And I appreciate that because you take the time to help other people. And that's what it's all about. So thank you very much. And I apologize and hope you'll accept that as my recommendation. Okay? Thank you so much. Tonight, I'm going to recognize someone that I don't even know. I didn't know till yesterday. And the way I met this person was at a luncheon when I was asked to speak at a YPL luncheon. And I sat across the table from this young lady and was introduced to her. And the YPL is a young professionals organization in Longview that there are a bunch of young people that have a lot of enthusiasm and up-and-coming minds, and they're movers and shakers, and I love that group. But this young lady was sitting with an elderly lady, and I thought to myself, I wonder what that's all about. And it turns out, I'm speaking of Jackie Mayfield. So Jackie, are you here? Come on up. I haven't seen Jackie, but she's supposed to be here. But come on. I want her to come up here. Jackie, come up here. You have no idea why you're here. Come on up here, right up here. I want you to know, this is Jackie Mayfield. She works at Alpine House. And she took the time yesterday to take an elderly lady to lunch. And it was, please come up, ma'am. She's right there in the back. Come on up here. Come on up here. It inspired me so much to sit next to them. Come on up. Come on, you're doing great. Take your time. What inspired me is the fact that Jackie took the time to do something nice for someone else out of the goodness of her heart. She didn't have to do that. And that's what community recognition is all about, is people doing things for other people that make a difference. And I'm sure you had other lunch plans, but thank you for joining us for lunch yesterday because it was so much fun for us. Wasn't it fun? Wasn't the speaker fantastic? Sorry I had to do that. But I just want you to know, this is what it's all about. This is what community recognition is about. It's recognizing people that had no idea this would happen yesterday and had no idea why she was coming here today, because that's what Longview does. We're good and our hearts are pure. And this is a lady that I don't know you, but I do now. We're friends forever. And I want to thank you for what you've done and thank you for your service and the difference you make, whether it's young or old. Make a difference every day, because that's what it's done to me. And this will help me be a better person. Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you
I love
so
you.
much.
Thank you so much, honey. Good to see you. Did you tell your son I said hello?
I sure know, yes.
Please tell him I said hello, okay?
That was awesome.
Good. And remember, that was a really good speaker again, wasn't it? That's fun. That does my heart good, and I thank you for that. Okay, we're to citizen comment. I have a few speaker cards tonight. First off, I do have Ms. Elsa Nobles. Ms. Elsa, do you want to speak? Please come up.
Good evening, City Councilman and Mayor Andy Mack. I just want to thank you so much for your willingness to acknowledge initiatives supporting children and righting wrongs. It speaks volumes about your leadership of Longview, Texas. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Miss Ann Jackson. Is she here? Okay, there she is.
Good to see you again. Ann Jackson, 510 East Loop, Texas 281. tonight's topic, as you know, I keep talking about issues that we have and things that I've seen to hopefully improve. Our wonderful women's safety course and a lot of other safety courses, I love that course here with Longview PD. I want to literally compliment them for that. I've encouraged a lot of other women to take it, and I think even for men, there's a lot of stuff in there that would be great for them. A lot of safety awareness, including that course, says if someone comes in to do repairs into your place, don't just trust their business card. Get their name, call the company with looking up your own phone number, make sure they're legit and who they are. I think most of us have heard that by now. But for those who are renters in an apartment and you make sure, hey, management, I'm going to do this, but yet management doesn't care. And if you say, look, you won't give me your name or anything, please leave. They don't send anybody to come back. Nothing happens. And management is fully aware that, look, if they come here and there's a sign in the window that says, please show ID, I don't need your home address, what is the next step? What is the next thing that a person is supposed to do to keep themselves safe, but yet, comply with management? Hey, you want to bring somebody in? Because I literally watched a maintenance person steal my wallet one time. This was years ago, not here in Longview. I literally watched him. And he was brought back about a month or two later to finish a job that the owner really thought he'd already finished. And I'm like, absolutely not. I've got a pipe coming out of my bathtub about like this, and I have to lean over to just try to rinse my hair. So he thought it was all done. It clearly wasn't. But what are we supposed to do? What is a person supposed to do if literally the landlord is like, I sent somebody, sorry, and you have water damage, you have stuff coming in, you have flooding, you have personal property damage, let alone what the landlord's, not getting fixed. I just think this is an area that we need to kind of figure out what to do, because I've seen it happen numerous times. Thank you so much. You guys have a wonderful day.
Thank you. David McMillan, I'm sorry.
Good afternoon, City Council and Mr. Mayor. I'm here on behalf of a few coaches as far as the recreational adult softball at Hensley Park. As you know, a few months ago, there was an article in the paper. Paper interviewed one of the coaches, and he kind of let loose on them about the maintenance of the fields and about how it's been ran ever since Mr. Willard Gunn passed, God rest his soul. It's really went downhill. We went from last summer having about 80 to 100 teams out there playing Monday through Thursday to this fall, I think we have about half of that, 40, 50. People aren't coming back. The field conditions are horrible. You're blinded after the sun goes down, about 7:45 game, you're blinded in that batter's box. And that's not good for the person swinging a bat with the ball coming in, and it's sure not good for the people in the outfield trying to catch it. They went and replaced some of the lights, but they didn't readjust them. They're still blinding people. We've, one of the fields, Field 3, hasn't had a working scoreboard in 2.5 months or 2.5 seasons. There's one field out there that was abandoned for over a year. They just now started using it again because they had to condense Monday and Wednesday nights. All of us teams that play on Monday nights, obviously Wednesday nights, a lot of them it's for church. And the people that don't go to church on Wednesdays play on Wednesdays. But they combined them, and we got an email after the dues were present, and we're basically told that they will not accommodate schedules. I have, there's a number of coaches that have players that play Monday nights, which is upper lead, and Wednesday nights, which is lower lead. Well, they're now having to choose. I have 18 people on my roster, and I'm one of the lucky coaches that have sponsorships for both teams that I put in. I haven't been able to have more than 10 batters in 3 weeks. Normal 8-week season's been condensed down to 6 weeks. They forced to play double headers for no reason. We play 25 out of 52 weeks now when we used to play 30-something, when we used to play 10 games a season. More on the conditions, it's gotten really bad since Willard hadn't been out there. There's no communication from the PARD office with the coaches. We haven't had a coaches meeting in over a year. And the response I was given by PARD was that nothing's changed. Something's changed. There's over 50 teams dropped out, coaches that are not bringing teams back, and we've lost a lot of good players. I wish y'all would do more of a internal investigation. I know that the Hensley Crossing deal kind of slowed them down from doing maintenance, but that's over 2 years now and still not seeing things happen. Just for the safety of the players, and I mean, it's Longview. We don't have a lot for the young adults. I'm one of the older ones that are still trying to play with the kids out there, but I mean, there's not a lot of just fun, clean recreational activities in Longview to do besides going out to eat. And it's one I would really hate to see die off. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Mr. Malone. Sydney Allen?
Yes, my name is Sidney Allen, Quiet Shadow Street here in Longview, Texas. First, I want to say thank you to the City Council, Mr. Bond, City Manager, and Mayor Andy Mack, and I want to turn around and say thank you to the staff, because day in and day out, just all around us, they're the ones that do the work. They're the ones that are here at 8 in the morning, here till 5 in the evening, and they have to take care of. Sometimes there's problems. Not many people come in and say thank you for what you're doing. But I've worked with the staff for many years, and they do a wonderful job, and I just want to thank you to all of them. Okay, where's the timekeeper?
It's right behind you.
Okay. All right. This is a letter I wrote back in June of this year concerning the sign ordinance, and at this time I'd just like to reread it if I could, please. As chairman of Planning and Zoning, when the 2003 sign ordinance was adopted, that's 16 years ago, was adopted, I am still familiar with the process and the results. Wayne Frost, the vice chairman, and I visited with many different businesses in Longview that used all the different types of signage. We tried our best working with the city staff to draw up a new ordinance that would be fair to all concerned. Yes, the billboard ordinance was very thoroughly discussed at that time. The electronic billboards, however, were just on the verge of being developed at that time. Now remember, this is 16 years ago that this was billboards, little tongue twister, serve two purposes, in my opinion: advertising a product and location directions. Now maybe the location's not as important as it used to be because we all got these phones that give us all the locations, but they still help people that you shouldn't be on your phone all the time when you're driving anyway. But okay. The sign ordinance was never designed to be written in stone. It was designed to be a flexible instrument and still should be. The only thing I can think of that's written in stone was the 10 Commandments years back, and they seem to be broken all the time. So, you know. My purpose on planning and zoning was to encourage employment and increase the tax base. And I'd like to ask now, just as I did then, please, if the council, the mayor, city manager, and the staff would work to see that this is done. I want to thank you again for this opportunity, for being here, and for the time that I was able to serve in this council chamber. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I have no other comment cards. Thank you all very much. We now have a presentation item. We have a presentation, a proclamation designating September 12, 2019 as Education by Design Day in the city of Longview. Ms. Joycelyn, bring your children up. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. Hi there. Okay, I'm sitting right by you. Come here. Okay. Stand right up here. And you sit right here, okay? How about this? All right? Deal? Let me read this? Yes, sir. Okay. I'm going to read this proclamation real quick with the help of my new little friend. Education by Design Day, September 12, 2019. Whereas the Board of Education by Design has requested the mayor by proclamation recognize September 12, 2019 as Education by Design Day in the city of Longview. Whereas the mission of Education by Design is to foster leadership and responsibility in school-age children through activities designed to enhance their worldview and daily lives, the vision of Education by Design is a world with greater educational achievement in our high school youth, greater college placement, and enhanced sense of opportunity and community. So now therefore, I, Andy Mack, with authority vested in me as City of Longview Mayor, do proclaim September 12, 2019 as Education by Design Day in Longview. Like this. Okay. Now look, everybody look right there. That's my favorite picture ever. Okay, because I'm taller than her even on my knees. Okay, first off, Joycelyn, what a brainchild this is. What an amazing pursuit from, I know that something that's so dear to your heart, and that's education. And you not only talk things, you walk them, and I really appreciate that. And all of you all that are up here are so important in this endeavor. And this is what matters right here, these children, because it's going to make a huge difference in their lives. And once again, it's people helping people, and that's what we're all about. No matter what position you're in, you can always find a way to help someone. When you help a child, there's crowns waiting for you up in heaven. And so I just want to tell you how much it means to the city of Longview, to the community, to our citizens, to these kids, what y'all are doing. Please keep up the good work. I know you will. You're like a train moving forward that has no break. And I like that. Keep it up. You're awesome. Y'all are all awesome. Thank you all so very much. Great job. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. What an awesome group right there. Okay, we're to public safety update. Police Chief Bishop is out of town this week, so Chief Stillman, rock away.
Right. Mayor Mack, members of council, Mr. Bonds, thanks for the opportunity to update you on a few things that the fire department's been working on since our last meeting. First and foremost, we hired a new fire apprentice for the fire department. This gentleman's name is Chase Rouse. He makes our staff complete. We're fully staffed at this time. He'll start paramedic school October 1st, and we're looking forward to many great things out of him as an employee. The United Way cardboard boat race. I don't know if you had a chance to attend this. I was fortunate enough to get to be a judge of this, and it was my first time to go, but I had no idea what went in and the lengths that people go to build some of these cardboard boats. It was a tough decision looking at these boats. Our water rescue guys actually got to participate in this to make some wake out in the lake and put a little degree of difficulty in the competition. But we had a good time with it. It was United Way. You just recognize a lot of the key workers, and it's really good to see the community come together for an event like this. And it was just a fun time. So thanks for letting us be a part of that. We had a blast. With this week containing 9/11 and being the 18th anniversary of those attacks, we've had a lot of opportunity to engage the public, and this was just one sample of a gentleman and his two young kids that stopped by the fire station earlier this week, I believe on Monday, to just drop off a gift. And he basically made one of these flags, a hand-carved American flag. Ours had a red line in it. The PD's had a blue line in it, naturally. And just to say thank you for what you do and spend a little bit of time with our crews. They got to show the kids the truck. But just to take that little bit of time out of their day to stop by and lift these guys up a little bit, that meant a lot to us, and we certainly appreciate that kind of support. So big shout out to the Crittenden family for taking a minute out of their day to stop by the fire station. I've got these next two are fun for me, and I'm kind of sad that Chief Bishop's not here tonight. We've had the opportunity to compete against the police 2 times this week. The first one was that same Monday night where we did a rib eating challenge at Texas Roadhouse. This was the second annual one of those that we did. And lo and behold, we got to win that one again. So a good day for us. I'm sure some of those guys had belly aches later that evening, but hey, it was all worth it and in good fun. Great time. It's always fun competing against our brothers and sisters over on the law enforcement side. And then on the 10th, the very next day, we did our annual 9/11 Memorial Golf Challenge. This is where we get a select group of firefighters, select group of police officers. We move around to a different course every year. This year we played at the Tempest Golf Club over outside of Kilgore and had a great time. That was a very challenging course. The sportsmanship was over the top. I mean, even the police officer that smoked me in golf, he was polite, cordial. He didn't rub it in too bad. But even with my handicap, the guys still were able to pull off the win. I wish Lieutenant Bowen was here because the look on the faces there between Lieutenant Bowen and Lieutenant Catron, who ramrod this event, says it all. It was a long day, but it was a fun day, and we look forward just for that fellowship and that time that we get to spend with the police department once a year. And speaking of September 11th, yesterday we were busy all day long, and it was so great to get involved with the community. Just all the activity that we had. I really want to give special thanks to Highland Pines Nursing Homes, KETK, coupled together with Peter Chevrolet, and then St. Matthew's Catholic Church for the events that they do every year to support public safety here in Longview. Chief Bishop wanted me to also express his thanks, and again, he's sorry he couldn't be here tonight, but it brought us all together. So just thanks for that outpouring of support. Stop the Bleed, this is a program that we offer free to the community. The next offering is September the 24th. There's still room in this class, so if you have any interest, I encourage you to reach out to Chief Dodgen at the contact information there, and she will get you registered. And also, we're shooting ahead, so this is kind of a placeholder. On October the 1st, the Longview Fire Department is partnering with the American Red Cross chapter here locally, and we're going to do a smoke detector blitz in the city. So if you think you have a smoke detector that may not be working, if it's over 10 years old, you haven't checked the battery in a while, you don't have the ability to check the battery, if you just need some assistance or you're curious about the condition of your smoke detector, call the information on the flyers there and get registered so that we can stop by and check that out for you. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Chief Stillman? Chief, thanks for what you do. Thanks for especially that smoke detector opportunity for the citizens. That's another thing that people take advantage of it. You guys are willing to do it, and I really appreciate that. So thanks so much.
Thank you, Mayor.
Appreciate it. Okay, we are now to a discussion item. We are going to discuss and provide direction concerning the digital billboards for the council and staff. So what I thought I would do is just bring us all up to speed and get us all on the same page from where this started and where we are today, because I think that's very important to see what's going on and what's taken place. So just a quick little recount of history. In 2002, the sign task force was established. 2003, the sign ordinance was changes and were adopted, which requires maintenance of existing signage, restricts new replacement billboards according to a 2-to-1 replacement. Remember that. That's going to be important later. 2-to-1 replacement, where twice the square footage must be removed per new sign. It restricts billboard height to a maximum of 35 feet. It restricts billboard areas to a maximum of 400 square feet. It bans billboards with 1,500 feet of residential zone districts, public parks, public forests, public playgrounds, or scenic areas. And it bans billboards within 3,000 feet of any other billboard. Ordinance history. In 2005, Lamar replaced 3 signs and support poles without permits. The applicant appealed to Construction Advisory and Appeals Board. The board affirmed the staff's denial of the permits in 2025. Applicant appealed the interpretation of the sign ordinance and Zoning Board of Adjustments. Board affirmed the sign's interpretation of the sign ordinance in 2006. Lamar filed a lawsuit against the City of Longview. This court ruled in favor of the City of Longview. Lamar appealed the case. The Court of Appeals of the 6th Appellate District of Texas at Texarkana, which ruled in favor of the City of Longview and dismissed the rest of the case due to lack of jurisdiction. 2006, Lamar requested a variance to allow for replacement of a non-conforming billboard to a digital billboard. The Zoning Board of Adjustments denied that 5-0. In 2008, the mayor's task force was created to address electronic signage. The sign ordinance was updated to address electronic signage. It created changeable copy signage definitions, including electronic signage. Changeable copy sign requirements were: may not be used for off-premise advertising, may not exceed 64 square feet in area, may not exceed 20 feet in height, may not be allowed within residential zoning districts except in conjunction with schools, churches, or public uses, must follow limitations on animation, brightness, etc. In February of 2018, the potential developer, Woodmont, met with the review committee at City of Longview about a potential contract. This is now 10 years from the digital sign mayor's task force that was put in place. Okay, we're 10 years removed. May 2018, developers contacted LeadCo requesting assistance with the project. A funding gap related to the site development. The billboard was not discussed as being an issue for the project. June and July 2018, LeadCo and the staff discussed utilizing a Chapter 380 agreement, but determined the project does not meet the policy requirements. September 2018, city staff met with developers and Lamar concerning the billboard. Items discussed included a potential ordinance amendment or potential variance requests. January 2019, developers contacted LeadCo about Lamar's proposal to replace the Waffle Shop billboard with 3 digital billboards. May 2019, city staff offered a Chapter 360 agreement related to the sign removal. July 2019, Lamar submitted a variance request to the City of Longview Zoning Board of Adjustment Committee. August 2019, Zoning Board of Adjustment Committee denied Lamar's request, 3-4, 2 against, needing a 4 supermajority, which was required. August 2019, I met with city staff and developers and representatives, including John King and Dan Noyes from Lamar and 2 representatives from Woodmont to discuss a potential solution. So, this is where we are. Developers and we met. Go ahead and bring it to the next slide. This is the potential future development, and when this was brought to us, you can see this, the 3-face sign was still present in this rendition, but then that was since not approved through the developers, what do you want to call it? Higher ups, I guess is the best way to, is that right, John?
It was the tenant's real estate committee.
Right, they did not approve that with the sign above the building, and that's where we became engrossed in, okay, in order for this to take place, we need to remove this sign. So that's how we got to where we are now. Now, we're here to provide direction for city staff on how to proceed. The city staff will then take council recommendations to planning and zoning. Planning and zoning will consider the changes, and the council will then consider and vote on changes to the sign ordinance. And so that's what our job is tonight, is to discuss this, determine what we're going to send to P&Z. P&Z will look at that, determine what their vote is, and that will then come back to us. Either way, it'll come back to us. Whether it's for or against, it still comes back to us. So let me show you or tell you what we have discussed. And I want to first say, I thoroughly enjoyed my meeting with Dan and John and Keith and Michael Shirley and the gentleman on the phone, the conference call. We had a very, very professional, upbeat, enthusiastic meeting where we all want the same thing. We just have to find a way to get to that point. And sometimes that's the difficult side of any negotiation, is getting from point A to point B when you have to jump over point C, okay? And point C is the big billboard. So, you know, sometimes these negotiations take place and you don't get anywhere. And then sometimes they take place and you do get somewhere. And I think we got somewhere because I think everybody was there in that room with the same mindset, and that is, let's find a solution to this so that multiple things can happen. I mean, number one, I think we all want to see development in the community. That's a given. Anyone that doesn't think this council is not development oriented, they hadn't watched this council for the last 4.5 years. Number two, the location of this project is so important because it's on Highway 80, and one of our goals is to clean up Highway 80. So it serves multiple functions and multiple purposes, which is what we're trying to accomplish, and that's help Highway 80 from east to west and any part in between. So this issue is important on multiple levels for the City of Longview. So we have all the incentive in the world to make this happen, and we want to see it happen, but it still has to follow guidelines that keep it fair and equitable for everyone involved. So we had a great discussion. We have some proposed changes that I want to visit with you all about to this sign ordinance. Changes would allow the triple-sided sign at the Waffle Shop location to be removed in exchange for a one digital facing retrofit at another location. And what that means is the big 3-sided monster comes down, and Lamar can put a digital sign up in another location where there's already a billboard. They retrofit that to make that a digital sign. Okay? So that's number one. Number two, additional digital faces can be erected on a 4-to-1 ratio, meaning one facing can be retrofitted to digital for every 3 facings that are removed, which is exactly what they've done with the big 3, even though that's on one pole. Okay, let me back up, because I had to go through Billboard 101 because our language barrier when we started this meeting was like east and west, because Mr. Noyes makes a living doing billboards and I don't. And so when I say billboard, I'm thinking pole and signs, okay? So that's one. But with Lamar, and that's two, because it's a pole and a facing and a facing. Okay, y'all get that? Well, I had to be brought in to speak because I didn't really understand that. I'm thinking I want a pole down, that's one, let's get rid of 3 more, and that's 8 as far as I'm concerned, but not. So we had to come to understanding, which I now understand, which is good, because until you can speak the same language, you can't solve a problem. And I appreciate them being very patient with me and helping me to understand how the signage works. So if I say billboard, I really mean facing. That's what I mean when I say billboard, okay? I used to say billboard and I meant the whole thing, but not anymore. So back to our thing. So on a 4-to-1 ratio, a digital sign can be removed. Once again, if they have another, and there are multiple 3-sided, 3-facing billboards in the community. We've all thought there's only one. I know of at least 3, maybe 4. So if they want to take another one of those 3-sided ones down, they can put up one retrofitted billboard. Make sense? Or if they want to go and take a pole down that has 2 facings on it, and then go to another pole that has 2 facings on it, and take one down, they can retrofit that other side with a digital billboard. Make sense? Okay, it took me a long time to get, y'all are way smarter than I am. It took me a long time to understand that concept. But now that's where we are. So, faces removed must add up to at least 1,600 square feet. Digital facings cannot be larger than 400 square feet. Digital faces are limited to being retrofitted on the corridors of Highway 80 and Loop 281. This discussion is for digital boards only and does not apply to static billboards that have been previously removed. Remember we talked about the 2-to-1 earlier replacement, but those were for static billboards, not a digital billboard. Okay, so there's a distinction between static and digital. So we're only talking about this process moving forward, nothing in the past. Okay, we're good there? Okay, and then all discussions for signing going forward, like I say, are going forward, nothing in the past. Some of the things that we also discussed, and to clarify that were important from our standpoint, is if they take a sign down, they cannot put up a digital sign larger than the one that they took down. Okay? It cannot be larger than what they took down. So that was a, and all these things, they don't seem like much, but they are very important because, okay, let's face it, the billboard industry is a business and it's for profit, and they have to be able to do their thing and make their profit, and we have to do our thing and make it good for the citizens of Longview. So what I feel like we've accomplished in this discussion is very simple. I think we've accomplished the fact that, number one, if they want to remove billboards and place digitals, they get what they want, get a digital billboard. We get a reduction in billboards, which is what I think the city of Longview wants and the citizens of Longview want. So I think that is a win for both sides. They get digital, we get less signs, and everybody wins. And to my knowledge, we have all agreed to this, and we're all on the same page, and we're all happy. And right, gentlemen are in the back. I can see you all back there. You're trying to hide. You know, we're going to all shake our heads up and down, right? We all are liking what we're doing. And once again, I appreciate the willingness to sit at a table with businessmen and gentlemen who are willing to talk and negotiate. So I'm open to discussion. Feel free, council. Mr. Moore.
The last few days I just jotted down some ideas and notes, and many of them are on the screen here, about restricting it to certain corridors and making sure that the signs removed are equal to or greater in square footage than the digital one going up. I don't have a problem with the same maximum height of 35 feet that we have for static billboards now going forward for off-premises digital signs. I think it's important that whatever static billboards come down before we issue a permit for a new digital going up. And that we need to place some sort of limits on brightness. I learned a new term called nits. I don't know what a nit is, but apparently it's important for digital signs. And so we have nit limitations for daytime and nighttime, and it's important that we regulate those. But generally, I'm completely in favor. I had written down 4-to-1 ratio also. These are all fantastic, and I look forward to going forward.
I've got a couple comments.
Yes, ma'am.
I think this is excellent problem solving and leadership, and I'm very excited about how this can solve all of the issues that we are currently facing there. The community has been talking about this, and I've gotten a lot of feedback and a lot of calls about this one, so I feel like this is an amazing response and going to be potentially much faster than I was expecting it to get resolved. So I'm excited about that. To echo Ed, I know that, and I know city staff will know to do this, but that needs to be addressed how long a digital billboard holds a particular picture, and then the brightness during the day and the brightness at night needs to be different, and there's regulations involved with that I don't understand, but I know that you will. I also just wanted to provide my personal feedback on that. Since I had been getting so many comments, it is my general feeling that our community wants less overall billboards, but that most people would consider digital an upgrade, that it's going to be a nicer billboard, that it'll change more frequently, that it'll look nicer than a lot of the static billboards that we currently have. So I would say 100% of the people that I talked to saw that as an improvement, and we're not opposed in any way to digital signs. So I think we honor the original task force by continuing to look at reducing billboards in our community, but that we continue to change and listen to what our community is saying, because 16 years later we do need to address digital, and there's no reason we need to be opposed to it when it's only stopping progress in our community and business development. That's it. Great job. Very excited about it.
Mr. Purtle.
The height of the signs, if they're over 35 feet now and they want to put one in that existing location, they don't have to lower that sign, do they?
That's not the proposal.
No, no.
So they can put, if a sign's 40 feet tall, they can put
I
one.
think it's
at the same height.
if they elect to erect a new pole that was not there, it has to be at that 35 feet. But original, and they can retrofit any billboard that's currently existing in the community. They can retrofit that sign.
At the existing height that it is now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And that's what I meant.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, I had 4 or 5 calls today on it, and it's 20 to 1 or more of people wanting this to happen in the interest of Longview. I know Marble-Lee's a main entrance off the interstate, but to me, on our side of town, 31 is. And this goes along with your vision, Mayor, for 80 to rebuild itself. And I mentioned to you before, I drove from one city limit sign to the other, and there's between 75 and 80 buildings for lease, need to be repaired, or for sale. And this goes a long way into helping us get started, because anytime we have something like this, people are going to want to jump on and build around it. And all the main, other than Kroger's, I hadn't talked to them, but all the main businesses around this road, Juicy's, Stuckey's, CPS, all those people, they have called me and told me that they welcome this. So I think this is a big boost for them too, because this helps their part of town.
Thank you, sir.
I would just like to, good evening, everyone, echo and piggyback off of what you just said. Steve, I think it's an outstanding idea. Thank you, Mayor Mack, for sitting at the table and working out all the logistics. I'm excited because it's going to be such a compliment to that corner and also to the comprehensive plan along with the green and the arboretum. So job well done. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments?
I'm just really glad that this could be resolved like this, and it's pretty amazing to see what government can do if it really wants to. We don't always move like a turtle. Sometimes we really get after things, and I'm really pleased that we could get this done as quickly as we did.
I would be remiss if I didn't make one other comment, and I see there's a few, but I see Mr. Mobley here, Jim Mobley. I want to thank the ZBA for your role in this. you were put in a very, very tough position, a position that you really couldn't win at. No matter how you voted, what you did, you couldn't win either way. And I apologize for that first, that you're put in the position, but I think in the end, this all worked out the way it needed to work out, and I appreciate y'all's diligence and your courage to stand up and do what is right, and to be those leaders that we put you in those positions to be. It's not always easy, but it's nice when you are able to do what's right, and I appreciate that. Please come on up. This is Mr. Jim Mobley. He's on the ZBA, so I welcome you to speak.
Thank you. You are right. It is an experience being up there and having to make decisions, because you know you're not going to make everybody happy, and you're going to make a few people rather angry. But decisions need to be made, and we elect people like you to do that. And all I can do is commend you for acting quickly. Don't let a $2 million project walk away because you can't get together on something. Amen and amen on your diligence in that. And go Longview.
Thank you, sir. John, would any of you like to speak? Or I appreciate y'all being here. If you want to speak, you can. If you don't, we're good to go.
I think you did a great job of characterizing everything that we've done in the past few weeks. So.
Thank you, sir. And I just like these gentlemen to stand up back there, because I want everybody to see. These gentlemen played a huge role. Please stand up. Jim, Dan, all you guys, come on. These guys played a huge role in making this thing take place. They did not have to sit down with us. They could have dug their heels in the ground. They could have been obstinate, and so could have we. And then nobody wins, and we all lose. And so I appreciate that. That ability to sit and discuss and communicate and solve, and that's what we've done. So thank you all very much. Thanks for being here. So council, if it be the recommendation of the council, we will send this to the P&Z committee, and they will discuss this month. It will come back to us at our very next meeting. We will then make a decision if that's approved.
Amen and amen.
Very good. Thank you all so much. We are now to consent agenda. Would any items council like pulled off for separate discussion?
I don't need it pulled off, but I would like to ask a question of Ms. Miller. On the 3 proposed contracts for animal care services with our neighboring cities, I did not see anywhere where over the 5-year term there's a provision for a price increase, and is there one?
Yes, sir, there is. Over the next 5 years, we will go from $142 per animal to $201 per animal. Okay. And that is our cost.
All right.
Currently.
That's it. Thank you.
If not, is there a motion? Oh, excuse me.
Ms. Miller. I'm the only one going to ask about this. Explain this to me, why we have to hire some consulting firm from outside the city when we've got attorneys and staff and everything, and probably the insurance companies that we deal with now that tell us what we need or are lacking in. Why do we have to spend $50,000 to have an outside firm come in? Do we not have the people here in town to be able to do that?
There is a certain level of expertise that is required when looking at whether or not to stay with our current carrier for work comp, general liability, or to go with a different carrier. So we felt like it was best to bring in a consultant and make sure that we are covered correctly with our insurances and ensure that we are choosing the best carrier.
Well, did not our insurance providers tell us what we were lacking in or anything like that? And did we send this out as a bid situation, or did we just pick this consulting firm to do this?
We do not have to, under the state law, do that because we can choose professional services without going through a bidding process. And we don't currently have a consultant, so we are currently just with Texas Municipal League as our carrier.
Well, have we had any issues or any problems in the last year that pushed us to do this?
I would not say we've had any issues in the last year, but I would say there are some concerns that we would like to ensure that we are covered correctly on all of the different fronts that we have insurance.
Well, why didn't we ask our insurance provider about those concerns instead of spending $50,000 to bring somebody in?
We have. We have general liability and work comp through TML, but we have lots of different insurance policies with other insurance providers because we are too big, and that's according to TML, to be covered by them for those different policies. So we just want to look at the process completely and ensure that we are covered appropriately.
Well, I don't really have a problem with doing that. I would think that our insurance providers would be able to lead us to where we needed to be, or we would probably need to change providers in that area. The problem I have is we're constantly getting bombarded with consulting fees, consulting services. And since I've been here, we've spent $500,000 on consulting services, and it's just getting kind of routine. And you know, if we're lacking in an area and some type of a liability, that would go a long ways to help pay for a higher premium or a higher, you know, whatever we have to have. So I'm really having a tough time with this consulting services issues because we have the UDC, we have the comprehensive plan, the downtown plan, the small area plan. I mean, it's a constant battle about twice a year, and that's the problem I'm having. I'm spending money that it's hard to. Are we going to save any money off of this, do you perceive?
I believe.
Will we make up for this $50,000?
I believe that we will. I believe that I can personally lay my head down on a pillow at night, more comfortable that we are properly insured, and I believe that we will see a cost savings.
Okay. As long as you feel like we can justify this by recouping this, then I don't really have that big of an issue with it, but it's awful hard to swallow.
What I would be more concerned with is asking our current provider if they're the best, because what are they going to say? No, we're not.
Or being underinsured.
Or being underinsured, or being overinsured. I'm not a big consulting guy either. I agree. We do this a lot, and every time we do it, we always go, kind of the consultant. But I do think it's our job to look out for the best interest of the money that we do have and spend in the city of Longview. And I don't want to be taken advantage of because we thought we knew better, or someone who we're already paying tells us they're doing a great job. Because if they would tell us they're not doing a great job, I want to know that company. No one does that. So I get it. It is frustrating from our council standpoint, but I consider it a necessary evil when we do not have the ability to do that on our own. Then we must rely on other people, because I can assure you of this: if we didn't do it and something fell through, we'd be criticized for not doing it, because we can't win at that. And so I guarantee you, if we would have done the last salary survey without a consultant, we'd have got more flack than we already got, but because we're doing it ourselves. But now that when you're asking someone who that's what they do, you're getting an expert opinion, and so sometimes that's necessary. I get it. But we always ask staff to do these only when necessary, and I assume that that's what you're doing. So
Yes, sir.
That being the case, I have to accept this.
Well, does this consultant, does he sell insurance?
No, this is a consulting.
We don't buy anything from him then?
No, this is purely a consulting firm, and they're one of the best nationwide at risk management.
Okay.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Now to zoning. Public hearing to be held to consider application HL 19-2, filed by Alan McReynolds. Ms. Choi.
Thank you, Mayor Mack, members of council, and Mr. Bonds. The applicant is requesting a local historic landmark designation for the Boy Scouts of America Troop 201 cabin. This building is located in Teague Park and is addressed as 1201 Park Lane. The building was built in phases, with the first phase being constructed as a log cabin for the Boy Scouts in 1941. Afterwards, 2 additions were constructed. The Boy Scouts troop was created in 1917 and is one of the oldest Boy Scout troops in Texas. There were many influential members of this troop, including the current governor, Governor Abbott. The cabin does possess significance with respect to history, culture, and the social fabric of Longview. It is also identified with person or persons with that have significantly contributed to the culture and development of the city as well as the state. Also, it does have value as an aspect of community sentiment, cultural association, historic heritage, and public pride. Due to its historical, economic, architectural, and cultural significance, staff recommends that this structure be designated as a local historic landmark. Historic Preservation Commission, along with Planning and Zoning Commission, recommends approval of this request. I'd be happy to answer any questions at this time.
This requires a public hearing, which is now open.
I have a question. Can you elaborate on, so we designate this as a historical landmark, and then from that point on, it's just a structure?
Yes, sir, that is correct. It is a structure. Now, because of its local landmark designation, it does open it up to incentives. If they want to do any renovations to this building, we will be able to waive their permit fees as part of an incentive.
We're not responsible, though, for maintaining it.
No, sir. There is a lease through the City Parks Department. They have leased this site or this building to the Boy Scouts troop.
Any other comments on this item? Public hearing is not closed. We have two presentations on this item, correct?
Yes, sir. One more
Okay.
presentation item.
Do we vote on them independently or all at one time, Mr. Finley? So we vote on after the next presentation. So Mr. McMillan, Alan McMillan.
Thank you, Mayor Mack and council members. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. I wanted to start by talking about the significant changes that have occurred since the Lions Club created this Boy Scout cabin and addition and other amenities which surround it. A couple of years ago, the Lions Club indicated they wanted to step back from the lease agreement with the city, Trinity Episcopal Church, and the Boy Scout Troop 201 Foundation, many of whom members are here tonight. And I want to tell you that working on this project with them has been a distinct honor because all of them were Boy Scouts in the cabin and have personal recollection, memorabilia, and a desire to maintain it and to improve it so that it is around for another 100 years. So that's really our goal. By having it be a landmark, we're trying to upgrade, preserve, conserve, and move forward. There are a couple of issues that we know we need to address right away. The 1941 building, the original log cabin, has had some amendments, but the major issue is that it's not air conditioned or heated, but centrally. And the addition from 1952, similarly, is also not. The windows, many of which do not function, they're double hung. Some have been boarded up, and many of the panes are cracked or broken, and the caulking ceiling around each of the panes is deteriorated. We need to make this a more airtight, weatherproofed building, insulate it, bring it up to current, standards, and make it a more comfortable place for the troop leaders and the kiddos, because there are 3 troops that are now using this structure to meet on a regular basis. So our goal is to put on a new roof, take a look at the siding and how we might provide insulation, wrap the building, if you will. So take the siding off, perhaps put similar siding back on, upgrade the electrical, install air conditioning and heating, ducting, create an ADA bathroom, and just other upgrades that are necessary at this point. We'll be working carefully with the city staff and the historic preservation members to make sure that we are following the Secretary of Interior standards for landmark designated buildings. And I want to take a moment and just tell you that Angela and her staff have been very helpful and given us very good advice, and we feel like we're in very good hands.
Alan, I just want to say, if you're involved, I know we're in good hands too. Thank you for being
you,
involved in this. You know, you don't do anything that you don't do right. So we appreciate that. I think this is something that we should embrace as part of a once in a lifetime thing, really, because we don't have that many opportunities for a place like this, and I think it has incredible significance for the history of our community and for our scouts. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And I just want to add, in addition to city landmark designation, we're also working on a subject marker through the Texas Historical Commission for the troop, which was created, as Angela mentioned, and we think is the oldest continuously existing troop in the state of Texas. That's very important. And another marker for the structure. And so we'll be working with the local Gray County Historical Commission through this cycle to take a look at those two applications and forward them to the state. So we have a lot of things in the works. We may not have everything finished by our goal of the 2020 celebration, you know, the 150 celebration, but we have a lot of things that we want to bring forward. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions on this topic? Public hearing is now closed. Is there a motion?
Thank you.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We're now to budget items. Consider an ordinance adopting the 2019 tax rate, levying said rate. Ms. Cohen.
Good evening. This is a vote to set the 1920 property tax rate. The rate is 38.42 cents for maintenance and operations, 17.47 cents for debt service, totaling 55.89 cents. And I can answer any questions you might have.
Any questions of Ms. Cohen on this?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
We need special motion for this.
Oh, who's got the special motion? Mr. Bertle?
Be that quick on the comments for the testimony. God. I move that the property tax rate be increased to the adoption, and the adopted rated tax rate is 55.89 cents per $100 of valuation, which is effectively 12.13% increase in the tax rate.
Is there a second?
Second that.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I thought Jim was asleep. Did you see him pop up over there? Really, Jim? Okay. And on that item, I want to thank everyone involved with this budget presentation. City staff has worked so hard. Mr. Bonds, great job. Angela, all your staff, every department chair, every head, every individual participated in this, and council as well. Budget time is always a stressful time because we're dealing with money that has been loaned to us by the citizens of Longview. And so it's our responsibility to do that in a fiduciary manner, and I think we've done that again this year, and I applaud everyone involved, and thank you for the participation as we move forward. Thank you so much. We have an action item, consider resolution adopting a 5-year CIP program. Mr. McPhee.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Mr. Bonds. It's that time of year again to ask you to approve a resolution for funding for the first year of the capital improvements program. I'd like to give a brief overview. The CIP is prepared annually using policies that City Council adopted in 2000. Those are compiled from master plans and different studies such as the comprehensive plan, and they're assigned a priority and an urgency. As a refresher, our previous year CIP was $10.8 million. Most of these projects that were approved last year are either in design or under construction. So that's just a reminder. That was the size of our program last year. The first part of the CIP that I want to talk about is the bond project. So in November, we had a bond election that approved about $102 million worth of projects. This is the time that we formally adopt that into our CIP. The reason they're all listed is basically because we begin some phase of those projects during this time. So I'm going to refer to these just as a total and the bond projects, and I'm going to refer to the ones that are in addition to the projects from the bond to go into further detail. The first project we have on the capital improvements is funded through the Drainage CIP Fund. It is located near Garfield and Webster Street. So if you remember last 2 Mays ago, we had a number of rainfall events and flooding throughout town. That was largely due to some of the damage that was caused by this, that we noticed this. The cost is $940,000 for the reconstruction of this wall. Recently, the city completed a master plan and study for identified improvements for the Maud Cobb Activity Complex. So two of the things that are in this project is basically the high bay lighting that you see on the left is going to be replaced with LED lighting. It's the lighting that upgrades that we're putting in are to replace the ones that are less serviceable and not as able to be maintained or adjusted as well. The second thing is the storefront on the right of the slide is a 38-year-old storefront that, to be honest with you, it's very inefficient. It doesn't protect the space from heating and cooling very well, and it leaks, so that's part of the replacement on this. And that is funded through the hotel occupancy tax funds. The next project is something that was talked about in budget. We actually are putting this in the CIP. It is the Hawkins Parkway and Good Shepherd Way traffic signal improvements. It's funded through the general fund at a cost of $250,000. We have the annual maintenance projects that we do within the wastewater and the utility system. There's $450,000 that will be funded by utility CIP funds for improvements at Shamrock Drive and Luckett Street. I'd also like to note that some of the improvements at Luckett Street are due to the police station expansion, so there are some lines that need to be replaced and upgraded due to being past their useful life. Wastewater treatment plant, I don't get to talk about sludge with you guys very often. This is part of the sludge train of the wastewater treatment plant. This thickener drive is over 50 years old and it is in need of replacement. Most people don't like me to talk about that too much. The George Ritchie Road FM 2275 extension, and that goes from Pine Tree Road all the way over to its terminus point in the widened section at Gilmer Road. There's about $5.9 million worth of utility relocations. You see the reference of the utility CIP funds that will cash fund this without issuance of any debt to do that. And there's about $2.5 million that will actually be reimbursable by TxDOT because we have property interests in those with easements. The 2020 water system improvements are $450,000. Again, some of those lines are at Spring Street as well as Luckett Street, and those are associated with the new police department being built. So in summary, these were the bond projects. $102,708,000. If you'll recall, those are funded in 3 separate debt issuances that are anticipated to be February of 2021 and February of 2023, bringing the grand total with the projects that I've just gone over to you of $111,526,000. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
102 of that is our bond, right?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
So that was what was voted on?
Yes, sir.
Ronald, the $5 million for George Ritchie?
Yes, sir.
And you say we'll get $2.5 million or so back from the state?
Yes,
Is
sir.
that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so do we have $5 million in the budget for this, but we're going to bring $2.5 million back into the community?
We have the difference accounted for within our budget in the CIP fund.
Okay.
So, and I think that's a really important thing to note is just that the utility has been cash funding these improvements throughout without the issuance of debt.
Thank goodness for utility funds. Any questions of Mr. McPhee?
Looks good.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now, items of community interest, Mr. Moore.
For my sesquicentennial moment this evening, I want to visit a little bit about the Junior League of Longview Passport Program. This is going to be a program for kindergarten through 5th grade where they'll have a passport to Longview to learn about our community and our history while at the same time hopefully having lots of fun. We're working with the area school districts to get the word out. We met with Longview, Pine Tree, and Spring Hill, along with folks from the Museum of Fine Arts, Gray County Historical Museum, World of Wonder, and the Longview Public Library. to get the program going. This thing will happen March 7th through the 21st of next year, which encompasses spring break. So hopefully those kiddos that are not leaving town for their spring break vacation will have the opportunity to participate in this program. Second, I had the opportunity to attend the brunch at Highland Pines yesterday for our city and county first responders. And you remember, 18 years ago, civilians were fleeing the buildings and our first responders were running toward the danger. And we just need to thank our police and fire and EMS every single day for the job they do and the tasks that they are faced with. Guys, and gals, I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Ms. Snoddy.
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Mr. Wade.
Nothing at all, but to acknowledge that, and this was placed right in front of me, that our Longview Lobos are taking on a high school over in Tyler tonight, and it's going to be broadcasted on ESPN. So go Lobos, all right? Fight on.
I believe is it on ESPN2?
ESPN2,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Okay, that's a nationally broadcast game. That's so, I don't care if it's Longview, Pine Tree, Spring Hill. As long as the word Longview is mentioned on ESPN2, I say good for us. Good for us. So, wow, what a great thing.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Mrs. Ishihara.
Nothing for me.
Mr. Wade. Mr. Wright.
Nothing tonight, sir.
Mr. Pirtle.
I want to thank the council for listening to my rants and raves about the corner down there. And I want to thank the mayor for his due diligence in staying with it and getting it done, because I think it's going to be a good deal for us.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Bonds. Okay. Upcoming events. We have Downtown Live, Friday, August 30th through November the 1st. Always a great time. Come out there and enjoy it and bring your friends. National Night Out is Tuesday, October 1st. We had a great kickoff celebration. I think this is going to be another fantastic event in our community, and I encourage everyone to participate and be involved in that. Arts Longview Cultural District Celebration, Thursday, October 10th. Yay, hey, congratulations to that group that has put us on the map once again in another area that we haven't been on the map before. So congratulations. Upcoming community events, we have Longview Symphony, Voyage, a Paris concert, September 14th. Landmarks of Longview is September 21st and 22nd. And the Home Beer Fest and Craftoberfest is September 21st. I know that was Sean's doing. So for more information about city events, go to longviewtexas.gov/calendar. And for information about community events, check out the calendar at visitLongviewtexas.com/events. And sadly, council, this is our last meeting for casual dress. We will go back to our normal attire until next summer comes back around again. But thank you all for indulging us and allowing us to be a little casual in the summertime. I know you don't realize it is very hot sitting up here, and coats and ties are tough to be in at this point in time, but I appreciate that, and we'll look forward to next season. Okay, here's my survey question. Have you gone, or do you have plans to go to the Gregg County Fair? Now, before we show the answers, I'm going to tell you this. I go every year. I love the Gregg County Fair. I love the fair. I've been going since I was a kid. I think that the JCs have put that on for years and years, and I just think that it's so neat to have that as an opportunity to do something in our community. And if you haven't ever gone, go out there and just walk around. You don't have to ride. I used to get to ride those rides. Now I get sick watching the little Ferris wheel go. I'm going, oh my gosh. But it's fun, it's entertaining, it's, take your kids, your grandkids, you'll see people that you know out there and just enjoy it. There's a lot of effort that's put into putting that fair together. So show your appreciation, go out and support that thing. Because the survey says 68% says no and 32% says yes. So I'd like to see that flipped. I'd like to see us 68% saying yes, I'm going to go, and 32% saying no, I'm a fuddy-duddy. So let's try to support things that make Longview a better place to live. So on that, when you visit the fair, what is your favorite fair food to partake in? Okay? Turkey leg, cotton candy, funnel cake, corny dog, or I can only choose one. I want them all. You know, that's the one I chose because I leave the fair every year with what I call fair stomach. Because I've eaten too much, the stuff that I should never eat, and I love every bit of it. But our survey said 47% funnel cakes. Who doesn't like a funnel cake? And you know, okay, my wife will kill me. She's a funnel cake fanatic. She's addicted to them. And now they have, it used to just be funnel cake and powdered sugar. Now it's every flavor in the world and every topping on it. And it's like, I watch her and I'm like, how old are you? And how can you eat that stuff? But it's awesome. Thanks for participating in the survey. Go to the fair. It lasts, I think, through this weekend, I believe. Doesn't it? Through Saturday, yes. So, yeah, I got a few more nights to get out there and do it, so give it a shot. So once again, I want to say thank you for all those who participated in the survey. Thanks for those who came to the meeting tonight. Thanks for council. Thanks for discussion. Thanks for Community of Longview being supportive in all that we do. So until next time.
Mr. Mayor,
oh,
something really quickly.
Yes, sir.
Why is Arts Walk always on a council night?
I don't know.
Just a question.
You stunned me. I don't know. We're adjourned.
Hey,